All right, guys, let's jump into our TV review for this week in pro wrestling. First up, Raw. And whew,
Raw is MVP.
Pretty much, which good or bad. I mean, there's a lot of good in that, some bad, but not necessarily his fault per se. Man, should we just jump in right talk about this whole Raw Underground stuff, or should we talk about the other?
Let's save that for last.
Save that for last. Okay. First things first. One of the big takeaways I took from Raw this week was the reunion of the Riot Squad. Ruby Riott came out, cut this amazing promo to Liv Morgan, and it was really emotional, and I felt it, like, as far as her perspective of why she kind of turned on them initially. A turn on Liv Morgan per se, and just their rivalry that they had, and ultimately them coming back together. And I really enjoyed it, and they had a big win over the Iconics. So, Richard, your thought on the Riot Squad coming back together without Sarah Logan? I should add that. That's a lot of people have been commenting. They're all making a big deal about this reunion, but they're forgetting one member.
Well, one member is pregnant. So.
Yeah, so she was released and then got pregnant, but yeah, ultimately, she's no longer with the company.
I'm absolutely thrilled for it because before they brought in women's tag team titles, I remember talking to some of my buddies about it. Like, they were one of those pairings that felt like they should have women's tag team titles because they were dominant through that year that they were together. So I'm 100% for it, and hope they push them to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad for both of them. It gives them something to do because Liv Morgan, ever since she kind of came back and was trying to being repackaged, he was like initially Lana's lover, but they dropped that pretty quick, and then she was like doing these promos where like she's a fighter and won't give up, and she's had a tough life, and they kind of dropped that angle. So it's been like really stop and go with Liv Morgan, and it's really interesting. Like online, just a lot of friends I see on social media, a lot of people love Liv Morgan and want to see her get her time to shine. So I'm kind of
out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like I'm kind of curious why all these people are big fans of Liv Morgan. Like, I haven't seen much of her body of work, but when I have, I wasn't like, oh my god, she's the next Charlotte Flair or something.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Kofi. Like, no one cared about Kofi till he had his that one match on SmackDown with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. And then
all of a sudden he's been our favorite wrestler forever, and it's like, wait, when did this happen?
Yeah, so that's my thing with Liv Morgan. It's like everyone's like, oh my god, I love Liv Morgan. I was like, really? Because she didn't do much in NXT. Like, she was there when I wasn't really watching consistently, but she got called up to the main roster pretty fast, if I remember correctly. So, but even still, she was always kind of, she wasn't like some like
she was whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I think there's something I've noticed with wrestling fans where they don't outwardly want to say that someone's attractive. And I think the sexy ring gear that she wears now, I think, is a larger part of why. But we'll get into it when we get to the Raw Underground thing. But I will. I think that's part of the reason why is there's a little bit of chasing the hug there and trying to get that without saying anything derogatory.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hear you. I get you on that. But yeah, so for them, it gives them something to do, and it gives them like an established tag team. And I would like to see them build up the women's tag team division, like legit tag teams created, and really put some more emphasis back on those tag titles. So we'll see what happens.
Well, especially because they can float from show to show.
Exactly. So you can kind of, without using what Vince called it, like these, when you get someone to SmackDown, the Raw, and vice versa, he had different names for it, like the draft, or no, not the draft. When people bounce from show to show, the invitational, whatever.
Yeah.
The tag titles are a natural way of just getting people over from one show to the other. So if you want to try to create some star power or a buzz from someone appearing from one show to the other, the women's tag title is an easy way to do that. So, like I said, we shall wait and see how this all plays out. And real quick, hey, Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, another amazing promo together between the two of them. Randy Orton just calling out Drew McIntyre, says, you were fired, and I've been here longer than The Rock, Stone Cold. Like, just an amazing promo, just listing off his accomplishments with the company. And then Drew McIntyre came back and just with emotions, like, listen, sure, I was the chosen one and I got fired and let go, but pretty much he called them out. It's like, listen, you've had like such a successful time in WWE. Things were given to you on a silver platter. You could have used that to help the rest of your peers, and you didn't. When I was at my low, when I was sitting catering and really depressed, you just walked by. You didn't help me, lift me up. So, I mean, I felt that, the emotions between the two of them. Like, both of them are right what they're saying, and I love this angle that they're going with, especially with Drew McIntyre. It's like, listen, Randy, you've been so lucky to have everything you have in this company. You could have used that to pay it forward and help really elevate this company for the better, the talent around you. So, Richard, just your take on just the two of them kind of taking shots at each other like that.
I just thought it was a good segment, good promo.
Yeah.
That was the extent of it to me.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to their match at SummerSlam, so I'm looking about that. Tommy, how about you?
It's just just both of their promos just were really genuine, I thought.
Yeah, authentic. That's the key there. So, and then next up, we saw Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler, and then no contest when Asuka came running out there looking for some payback against them. And Richard, I know you really got excited for this matchup because of it looks like Asuka versus Shayna Baszler down the road.
Yeah, I mean the match itself was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There was a quick armbar at the beginning of the match from Shayna to Sasha that was just like, damn, that was slick.
Yeah.
And then the Baszler promo afterwards to Asuka was got me very excited because, you know, they're the two most dominant NXT women's champions.
Yeah.
But I did find a tweet that apparently caught fire from one Gina Carano of UFC fame and Hollywood fame.
Mandalorian star.
Is she in the DeLorean?
Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Yep.
Mandalorian, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. She tweeted, and just like that, I want to attend my first WWE Universe event. Sasha Banks and Shayna Baszler, two of my favorites.
Ooh.
So that kind of sparked people looking into that a little bit more and wondering if she kind of saw what Ronda did and might want to dip her toe into the professional wrestling world. What would your feelings be?
Absolutely. I mean, she was a badass in UFC. She had like a good I don't follow UFC too closely, MMA specifically.
She's the first real women's star.
Yeah,
actually she was more popular in Strikeforce than
in Strikeforce as well. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, her time in MMA competing in combat sports, she had a good winning streak going, and then obviously she's gorgeous. So, it was like the perfect combo as far as just getting publicity for whatever promotion she was working for at the time. So yeah, Gina Carano is, I'm a big fan of her. And then she transitioned to more Hollywood and is trying to get more acting roles. I know she was in Deadpool. She was on The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. So she's definitely playing like the tough female in whatever TV or movie role she can get. There's a lot of people wish she could have been Wonder Woman in the DC movies, but Gal Gadot ultimately got
that.
Yeah, but she totally could look like Wonder Woman. I think a lot of people wanted her, but nonetheless, yeah, she's awesome. And who knows, maybe she kind of misses the combat sports, but doesn't necessarily want to get like punched in the face for real and ruin her TV or film work. But what's the next best thing? Wrestling, pro wrestling. So if she wants to switch over to WWE, I'm all for it. Yeah, she saw what Ronda did. She probably can easily do that, like a short-term deal. And she would bring a lot of eyeballs and attention, similar to what Ronda Rousey did. So I'm all for that. So, and I think she'd be great in the ring and just a fun personality to have. So it'd be really cool.
She's going to get that itch. She's going to get the itch.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and listen, there's not a lot going on right now. Obviously, a lot of production on stuff has been stopped because of the pandemic. So I don't know if she's already been training or could start training very soon, but it'd probably be a good way to kind of stay busy when she's in between movie roles. So that'd be all cool. So, but yeah, once again, we'll talk more about the women's division, more in regards with SmackDown, because SmackDown had a lot more progress with the storytelling there. Another what the WTF moment of the night. So we saw members of Street Profits taking on Andrade and Angel Garza, so singles matches. We saw Angel Garza defeat Angelo Dawkins, and then right up after that, we saw Montez Ford taking on Andrade, which ended very weird in the middle of the match when Montez Ford was doing his like Ultimate Warrior impression he does from time to time, shaking the ropes, and suddenly just passed out. And then the following break, when in the trainer's room, we hear from Bianca Belair, her husband, he was poisoned in the match. So, man,
who done it?
Well, it has to be either Angel Garza or Andrade, or if not, Selena Vega.
You would think.
Yeah, we saw Bianca Belair. She came out, saw Selena Vega, and said, "Who poisoned him?" And then started attacking her. And then I guess Selena Vega does a live Twitch stream, and even Bianca Belair came to her house and started beating her up on the live stream. So that was kind of funny as well. That's been going viral the last like 24 hours or so. So I mean, I don't know. That segment just really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It just seemed really odd. And like, I just imagine if that was in front of a live show. To Montez Ford's credit, his acting was great. He sold the F out of that, like just passing out in the middle of the ring. Imagine if that was in front of a live crowd. The whole arena probably wouldn't have went like shook and just went very quiet. But I don't know.
I like immediately hit like the 10 or 15 seconds rewind on it. And I was just like, wait, what? You know, like,
yeah.
I just saw him go down and I couldn't kind of believe what I saw, and had to watch it again because I thought someone clipped him or something. And it was like, no, he just collapsed.
Yeah.
So,
hopefully, we'll find out like eventually who poisoned him. Maybe the hacker will return and reveal the video or something, like security video of it. And so I'm assuming this is going to lead to either the tag titles at SummerSlam or even like 3-on-3, Bianca Belair and Street Profits versus Selena Vega. Well,
that match is already set for SummerSlam. Andrade and Angel against the Street Profits.
Okay, so. But maybe at some point, it'd be 3-on-3, like a mixed tag or a triple match, whatever you want to call it, the exact terminology for it. But yeah, so that would be
6-person intergender match.
Yes, that's the term. So, and next up, our final takeaway from this Raw, something that just swooped the internet all throughout Monday evening. The hype, I guess they had like a couple things. So it was leaked out earlier in the day that there was be a new faction appearing on the show, and then also like a new feature. Shane McMahon was going to return and had an announcement. And before we saw Shane McMahon appear, we saw, was it late in the show? We saw a group of people in black hoodies come out and like threw fire at what's a cocktail?
Molotov cocktail.
At the power generator, the performance center, and they were cheering, yay! And then they go running off after that. So we see this new faction, don't know who they are, what they're all about, and they just run off.
Just the wannabe Antifa sorts, you know?
Yeah, so they go running away, and then we see Shane McMahon in the back of the performance center, and he has like this ring with no ropes, no turnbuckles, nothing, and it's just people legit looks like fighting one another.
Underground Fight Club,
and Shane McMahon's called. It says this is called the Raw Underground. Come back at 10 o'clock and we'll show you what it's all about. And yes, and so throughout the 10 p.m. hour, we keep seeing cut-ins of this like Underground Fight Club on Monday Night Raw take place. And
you see Dolph Ziggler going at it.
Yeah, so Richard, I don't know.
I want to hear what you guys thought of this first.
Okay, like initially I was watching this, like, because they had multiple segments sprinkled in through that last hour, and I just shook my head. I was like, oh, this is just weak. Just because, okay, they're trying to be like real life underground street fight. Like, it was funny. Like, did someone in creative, either Bruce Pritchard or Vince McMahon or someone recently watch finally Bloodsport or who's the MMA fighter that has like his own wrestling promotion?
Oh, Josh Barnett. It's called Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport, like that. So just they see that and they're like, oh, we could do something similar like that. I don't know. Like
Karrion Kross competed in the Bloodsport.
Yeah. Well, so here's my thing. I thought that was just kind of weak because you see these guys are trying to look like they're shoot fighting, but they're still doing actual wrestling holds that you would do in a WWE ring.
Yeah, it still looks choreographed.
It didn't look real. Like
it didn't look real.
Were you expecting the Brawl for All?
I don't know. I mean, there's rumors of the Brawl for All was coming back. There has been rumors of that. So I was like, I was watching this. I was like, wait a sec. Is this actually going to be like fighting? Like MMA? But no, it was just, you see them, they're doing like, they're trying to be more aggressive, but ultimately they're still doing like wrestling holds on each other. So I just kind of shook my head. It just looked bad. And then ultimately we saw the end where the Hurt Business come walking in. And by the way, they look awesome with all their suits. They were styling, profiling. I loved it. Like, they look like a legit badass faction. So they come in and then they start laying out everyone. I'm like, this is awesome. So part of me was like, okay, was this created just to put over the Hurt Business as a faction? Or is this legit going to be a feature that they're going to ride out with for a while? I don't know. I'm kind of worried that this is going to last maybe for a couple weeks and they're just going to scrap it like they do a lot of things. And then remember, like, was it last year? Mick Foley was said the third hour is going to be a lot darker or more mature. Right?
Edgier.
Right, edgier. They're going to turn the lights down. So I don't know. But they got rid of that concept pretty quick. So I'm thinking, is this going to be something similar where the third hour is going to be Raw Underground, is going to be more edgier, like past bedtime for a lot of people? I don't know.
Is this like their version of Cinemax, Skinemax?
I don't know. Like, part of me is just like, I thought the last segment with the Hurt Business doing their thing and laying people out, I thought that was pretty awesome, just to show how badass, especially Bobby Lashley was. Even Shelton Benjamin. We saw Dio Madden jump up and was trying to fight them. Like, I'm surprised no one said, "Hey, it's Dio Madden. That's our former Raw commentator."
I know.
Did you recognize the tiny guy that got thrown around was from MLW? And I don't know his name. He's like 4 foot nothing.
I gotta go double check and look at that.
Oh yeah,
he looks like a child.
Yeah. But then who's the real big guy with like the mohawk?
Baba Khan.
Yeah, he was signed with NXT for a while.
See, I loved the Raw Underground.
You loved it?
Really?
I didn't just like it. I loved it. I do think they need to get rid of the music.
Okay.
And they need to get rid of the girls.
What? I love the girls.
And add Morrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right,
that makes sense. It's yeah.
Because Morrow's called actual fights.
Yes. Okay.
I thought that what's his name? Baba, whatever.
Yeah.
He looked awesome.
Yes.
And if this whole thing is to get him over, it's going to work.
Okay.
And if it's to get him over and have Shane McMahon as a manager type for him, I'm into that.
Okay.
I thought that Eric, aka Raymond Rowe of the Viking Raiders, looked like a complete badass.
Yep.
His stuff looked the most legit. Mm-hmm. I liked seeing Dolph Ziggler and Jake Atlas grapple around.
Yeah.
And the Hurt Business looked like Evolution. It was awesome.
Well, okay. Well, I was just going to say, for Dolph Ziggler, I'm glad when they announced, or Shane McMahon says, he's a former wrestler, college wrestler, like, kind of really acknowledging his background and his accomplishments and just really selling that. So I thought that was cool. I still kind of want to wait and see how this plays out. I was not like...
It's step one. It's the first week. So to me, it's like there's going to be some learning curves. And
hold up. Was the little guy you're talking about, was it Douglas James?
No, not
no. I got to double check. No, but I'm just saying, I want to be optimistic that this could turn into something really cool. I guess for me, what would have been made a little bit better is maybe Shane would have come out early in the 8 o'clock hour, the first hour, and just talk about his idea. Why is he doing this? Why is he bringing this to Raw?
It's essentially enhancement matches without the entrances, because you saw established guys beating the crap out of Performance Center guys.
Yeah.
So, and they all looked better at the end of it. All the guys that we mentioned Ziggler looked aggressive as hell. Like, I haven't seen Ziggler that aggressive in a ring in a long time. But I think, like I said, the girls thing, just for the sake of the people that were bitching about it online, that was kind of what I was talking about earlier, where I saw people, men, not women, men complaining that, come on, guys, it's 2020. We shouldn't be looking at women like that anymore. And it's like, F you. You know, like, get over yourself. It's past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Why is your kid awake anyway if you're upset about
it? Yeah. Well, my thing too, I guess.
You want to talk about bad parenting.
There you go.
I guess for me, it's just maybe Shane will explain more the purpose of this feature, and like, are they going to, do they get like their own title or a trophy? Like, what's kind of like ultimately the goal of this? Just like, what's the prize, or you know what I mean? Like the motivation behind all, like, why are they sacrificing their bodies instead of just going to the actual wrestling ring and doing this instead? You know what I mean? That's why I just kind of want to flesh this out a little bit more, and just what's the goal of all of this? I want to give it hope that it could be something really good, but but listen, to WWE Creative's credit, they're trying new stuff right now, and it's getting us talking, whether it's good or bad. All the people are talking about it. So
it's like the Riddle Thatcher cage match.
Yeah, exactly.
It's completely different. So
yeah.
So I just think it's the first week. Give it time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like it's not worth saying don't do it anymore if it's the first week. So
yeah,
if you don't if people really hated it that much, then don't watch that segment this week. Change the channel until it's over.
Yeah, and Raw did get a bump in ratings a little bit this week, so I guess
they did.
It did
Shane
work.
McMahon gave them a 6% bump.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss it more. Obviously, if this keeps going on, we'll keep talking about it more. But I just, like I said, if it helped,
and think about it, like you have the option here as well to get people like the big dude isn't a regular on NXT even, but you can have things like Nia Jax is suspended from Raw, but does that mean she can go to Raw Underground and beat up a guy?
That could work.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's not a match.
Yeah.
So
it's a blood sport out there. So yeah, I want to see this kind of evolve a little bit more, and I want to, like I said, I want to be optimistic and think this could lead to some cool things. If it can make the third hour a little more beefier, a little more edgier, and maybe that way the first 2 hours of Raw can a little bit more concise to like the matches in the ring. I said I want to be optimistic here. Like we are almost 6 days later since it originally aired, so I've had time to sleep on it multiple nights, think it over. Monday night I was just like, whatever. They're just throwing stuff out there, see what works. But here we are. Like you said, I enjoyed some aspects of it, like you said. But yeah, I want to be hopeful this could be something very cool. So we'll discuss it next week if they keep going with it.